Adugo, what are you wearing? I told you, we are going to a wedding. We weren't going to a farm to go and harvest yam. Hey, this woman, why are you bent on embarrassing me all the time? Chinedu and Adugo grew up in the same small village. They were inseparable as children. Their parents were also close, and both families worked hard to make ends meet. Chinedu's parents owned a small farm, while Adogo's parents were humble traders in the same village market. The two children spent their days playing by the river, climbing trees, and sharing secrets. Chinedu had always looked out for Adugo, helping her whenever she needed it. They were the best of friends, and everyone in the village knew that they will grow up together, supporting each other no matter what. But as they grew older, life started to take a different turn. Chinedu's parents believed in education and sent him to school, while Adogo's parents unfortunately couldn't afford to send her beyond primary school. Adogo, a bright and intelligent young girl, she wanted to learn. She wanted to further her education, but her dreams were shattered when she realized her parents could no longer afford the school fees. Instead of going to school, Adugo would stay at home, helping her parents with chores and also assisting her mother in selling goods in the markets. While Chinedu went to school every day, Adugo stayed behind, looking after her family and quietly wishing she could continue her education. Still, she never blamed her parents for once. She understood the difficulties they were facing. Years passed, and Chinedu graduated from school with flying colors. He moved to the city to start his career, finding work in a small office, and slowly he started to build his own business. But Chinedu didn't forget Adugo, though they were distant. Despite that distance, he often thought about her and the days they spent together as children. Chinedu knew that Adugo had not been able to continue her education, but he respected her for how hard she worked for her family. One day, Chinedu decided to visit his village. He wanted to connect to his roots. He missed the village and the simple life he had there. When he arrived, the first person he looked for was Adugo. She was still living in the same little house near the village center. Though Adugo looked a little bit different because she had grown into a beautiful woman. But she still wore her simple clothes and a wrapper round her waist, much like she had when they were still children. When they saw each other again, it felt like no time had passed. They laughed, reminisced about their childhood, and shared stories of what had happened since they last saw each other. Chinedu was surprised to see how much Adugo has changed, but it made him appreciate her even more. After spending time together, Chinedu realized that he had feelings for her, and Adugo felt the same way. They were in love again, and this time, Chinedu promised to take her away from the village and also probably make her his wife. It didn't take long. Chinedu proposed and Adugo accepted. Their wedding was a beautiful occasion. The whole village came together to celebrate the union of Chinedu and Adugo. Everyone was happy for them, and Adugo was overjoyed to finally marry the man she had loved for so long. It wasn't a big, flashy wedding, but it was meaningful and full of love. Chinedu had promised to make a good life for them, and Adugo believed in him. Adugo wore a simple yet beautiful traditional dress made by her mother. Her hair was neatly tied back and her smile was radiant. Chinedu was dressed in a suit, looking every bit of the successful man he had become. As they exchanged vows, Adugo felt like her dreams were finally coming true. She had never imagined that she would marry Chinedu. And now, here she was, standing beside him as his wife. After the wedding, Chinedu took Adugo to the city, excited to start their new life together. Adugo was nervous but happy. She had never lived in the city before and wasn't used to the fast-paced life there. But Adugo was willing to adapt, all because of Chinedu. They moved into their apartment, and for a while, everything seemed perfect. They were happy, and Adugo was eager to please her husband, doing everything she could to make their home comfortable and peaceful. It didn't take long before Chinedu started to make small complaints. At first, Adugo thought it was a normal adjustment after marriage. She tried her best to make her home perfect. She cooked Chinedu's favorite meals, cleaned the house every day, and made sure he had everything he needed. However, it seems like nothing she did was enough for Chinedu. One day, after returning from work, Chinedu looked at her with a frown. Adugo, he said, why are you always wearing wrapper round the house? Don't you know how to dress like other women in the city? I give you money. I ask you to go out and shop for yourself. Change your dressing. Eh? Why are you tying wrapper around the house like this? The other day, my brother's wife came here. Didn't you see how she was dressed? You try and be more modern. Please. Adugo was shocked. She hadn't realized that Chinedu cared so much about her clothes. She had always worn simple clothes, but never thought it would be a problem for him. She had never learned about fashion or how to dress like the women in the city. She felt embarrassed, but tried not to show it. I am sorry, Chinedu. I will do better, she said quietly, feeling very sad. As time went on, Chinedu's complaints continued. He would compare Adugo to his brother's wife, the women that works for him, who always dressed in latest styles. His brother's wife was modern, always looking fashionable and confident. Adugo, on the other hand, don't even know how to make up or dress in trending clothes. She still preferred wearing simple dresses and tying a wrap around her waist when she was at home and even when she wants to go out. Chinedu couldn't understand why she doesn't want to change. One evening, Chinedu came back from work and found Adugo sitting in the sitting room, wearing her dress and her hair back as usual. He looked at her again and said to her, "Che, I told you to go and talk to my brother's wife. Let her teach you how to dress. Eh? Don't you like good thing, this woman? See the way she dresses. Eh? She looks so beautiful and confident. Go to her. You could learn a two or thing from her. Adugo was silent. She didn't know how to respond to Chinedu. She had always been proud of her simple lifestyle. But now, it felt like Chinedu didn't appreciate who she was. She tried to hide her tears, but they slipped down her cheek. I am sorry, Chinedu, she whispered. I will try my best. One weekend, Chinedu received an invitation to a wedding. It was a big event and he wanted to attend, looking sharp and confident as usual. He was so excited, but he also felt a little worried because it was him and his wife that was invited to the wedding. He knew Adugo didn't have the same clothes as the woman in the city, and he was concerned about how she would look. He had told her so many times that she needed to dress better. She should go and talk to his brother's wife. But he wasn't sure if she understood. On that day of the wedding, Chinedu was dressed in his best suit, looking handsome and ready for the event. He walked into the living room, expecting to see Adugo dressed in something elegant. But instead, he froze in shock. Adugo was wearing a simple dress and of course, her traditional wrapper tied around her waist. She looked beautiful though, but not the way Chinedu had imagined. Adugo, what are you wearing? Chinedu's voice was filled with frustration. I told you, we are going to a wedding now. A big wedding for that matter. We're not going to the farm to go and harvest yam. Eh? This woman, why are you bent on embarrassing me all the time? Adugo was shocked. Ah, not again, she whispered. She had tried her best, but once again, it wasn't enough. She had worn the best clothes she had, but Chinedu was disappointed. She wanted her to look beautiful for him, but in all he saw was her simple village style. The tears she had tried to hold back began to fall, but she quickly wiped them away. I am sorry, Chinedu. I thought this was fine. I don't know what else to wear. Chinedu shook his head in anger. I thought I told you to go and talk to my brother's wife. I'm a man. I am not a woman. I don't know how to tell you to dress in modern styles. I asked you to go to someone who can help you choose a better dressing style. What is this? Chinedu was so embarrassed. He didn't want to go to the wedding with her looking like this. But he doesn't even know how to fix it. As they arrived at the wedding, Chinedu walked ahead, leaving Adugo to follow him behind. Adugo could feel the eyes of the guests on her as she walked into the hall. She was used to being the center of attraction back in the village, but in the city, everything felt different. The women here were all dressed in fine clothes, their makeup flawless, and their hair styled perfectly. But she fell out of place and wished she could blend in. Chinedu didn't speak to her much during the wedding. He was busy talking to his friends and family, looking proud and confident. Meanwhile, Adugo stood quietly at one corner, watching the other women and wishing she could be like them. She didn't know anything about fashion or makeup. Every time someone looked at her, she could sense their judgment. After the wedding, Chinedu didn't even thank her for coming. He simply said, let's go home. I am tired. The ride home was silent, and Adugo felt the weight of his disappointment. She had tried so hard to please him, but it seems like nothing she did would ever be enough. In the days that followed, Chinedu continued to criticize Adugo's appearance. It seems like every time she tried to do something for him, he would always find something wrong with it. She tried to dress better, no matter what she wore. But it was never good enough. Her simple clothes, her natural beauty, her humble way of life, none of them seems to matter to Chinedu. And Adugo did not want to go and meet her in-law and see if she can be able to help her. She felt embarrassed and shy to open her mouth and go and talk to her to help her change her style of dressing and make her husband happy. Who does that? Weeks later, Adugo still continued to please Chinedu. She visited the market, bought some new clothes. She even tried wearing makeup, something she had never done before. But each time she showed Chinedu her effort, he didn't react the way she had hoped. It seems like no matter how hard she tried, nothing would ever be enough. That day, when Chinedu came back home, found Adugo wearing a new dress. She had even styled her hair differently and applied makeup. Chinedu, do you like it? Adugo asked him nervously, hoping for a compliment. Chinedu glanced at her, but didn't say much. It's fine, he replied, turning away. But you still need to work on your style. Though this is better, but it's not enough. Chinedu said to her. Adugo felt so bad. She had spent so much time and energy trying to change for him, but it never seemed to work. She realized that no matter how much she changed, Chinedu would never see her the way she wanted him to. She felt lost and unsure of what to do anymore. As time passed, the distance between them grew. Chinedu was often busy with his business, and Adugo spent most of her days at home, feeling like she had lost her sense of purpose. Chinedu, on the other hand, continued to focus on his career and his image. He now started to spend more time with his friends and family, always comparing Adugo to other women around him. The more he compared, the more he began to feel frustrated with her. He didn't understand why she would just change and become someone he never wanted her to be. One day, as Adugo sat outside her apartment, trying to enjoy the quiet and peaceful breeze, she noticed her neighbor Maxwell. Maxwell was a young, handsome young man, always kind and friendly to everyone. Maxwell had noticed that Adugo had been looking down lately, and he couldn't help but wonder why. He had always seen her as a kind, hard-working woman, but something was different now. Maxwell approached her one afternoon while she was sitting outside. Adugo, are you okay? You seem a little sad lately, he asked her gently. Adugo was surprised that someone actually noticed her pain. She didn't want to respond at first. She had kept everything inside for so long, never having anyone to talk to about her struggles. After a long pause, Adugo finally spoke. I am not okay. I try so hard to not. I am not just good enough for him. I don't know what to do again. He now distanced himself from me. I am always alone at home, talking to myself, or to the ceiling or to my shadows. Maxwell listened quietly. His heart was aching for Adugo. He could see how much she was hurting, and he wanted to help. He thought about what he could do to make her feel better. Adugo, but you know you don't have to change for anyone. But if you want to feel better about yourself, I can give you some advice. There are some things you can do to look and feel more beautiful, not for anyone else, but for yourself. Maxwell's words were like a breath of fresh air to Adugo. She hadn't realized how much she needed to talk to someone who cared enough to listen. She had kept everything bottled up inside for long, afraid that if she spoke about her pain, she would only make things worse. But Maxwell's kindness gave her a sense of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. Really? Adogo asked, do you think I can actually look better? I've never been the kind of woman who knows about fashion or makeup. I've always been simple, and that's just who I am. Maxwell smiled. You are beautiful, Adogo, just the way you are. But if you want to feel better about yourself, you can try some small changes. You don't have to be someone you are not though. Eh? But it's okay if you want to feel more confident about yourself. Because that's with little things like wearing clothes that makes you feel good, doing your hair in a way that feels comfortable, and maybe learning a little bit about makeup. It's not about changing who you are totally. It's about finding ways to make yourself feel proud of who you are. Adugo listened carefully, observing his words. She had never thought about taking care of herself in that manner. She had always focused on taking care of others, especially Chinedu. But now, she realized that she needed to take care of herself too. Thank you, Maxwell. She said, I've never had anyone to talk to like this before. Maxwell smiled again with his kind eyes. I am just here to help, Adugo. You deserve to feel happy and confident in your own skin. Just take your time and don't rush. You are always beautiful, inside and out. The next few days were so different for Adugo. Maxwell helped her. He showed her some videos online and how to make some simple makeup. With her phone, Maxwell showed her everything. After Adugo learnt it, one day she went to the market, bought different type of clothes. She even bought some makeup products that she can use on her face. When she got home, she spent time getting ready, making up. When she was done, Adugo stood in front of the mirror, smiling at the reflection of who she was seeing. For the first time in a long time, she felt beautiful. She had styled her hair, put on little makeup, and wore a simple but elegant dress. She knew it wasn't about impressing her husband, it was about her feeling proud of herself. When Chinedu came back that evening, he barely noticed the changes. He was still too busy with his own thoughts to appreciate the effort Adugo had made. But for Adugo, it didn't matter anymore. She wasn't dressing for him or anyone else. She was doing it for herself, and that felt good. Days later, Maxwell saw Adugo outside, looking different and more beautiful than before. She had put on new dress, styled her hair, and she was looking so confident. Maxwell couldn't help but admire her so much. You look amazing, beautiful Adugo. Maxwell complimented her with a smile. I can see the difference. You even look more confident. Adugo blushed. Thank you, Maxwell. I've been trying to take care of myself, just like you said. And it feels so good, seriously, to finally do something for me. Maxwell smiled, proud of her. You're welcome. You deserve the feeling and to be confident. Keep doing what makes you happy. But Chinedu began to notice something that bothered him. Adugo was now spending more and more time talking to Maxwell, their neighbor. At first, it was nothing, just casual conversation. When they bumped into each other outside. But soon, Adugo seemed to look forward to their chat. She started smiling more, not even noticing that Chinedu is beside her. Chinedu at first tried to ignore it. He didn't want to seem controlling or suspicious. He had his own busy life, and Adugo wasn't doing anything wrong. But as he saw them talking more, laughing, gisting, something inside him began to stir. He couldn't help but feel a sense of jealousy creeping in. He had always been the one who made Adugo smile, the one who cared for her. But now, it seems like Maxwell was becoming the one who made her happy. Chinedu couldn't shake the feeling that he was losing his grip on his wife, and that made him so uncomfortable. He tried to blush it off, telling himself he was being silly, but deep down, he couldn't ignore the jealousy growing inside him. One afternoon, as Chinedu came back from work, he saw Adugo and Maxwell sitting outside their apartment, talking and laughing. Adugo looked more alive than he had ever seen her in weeks. And Maxwell seems to be the reason behind it. Chinedu's heart tightened with unease. He had had enough. He couldn't stand seeing them so close anymore. He was so jealous. He started to think that Adugo was dressing up just to be with her neighbor, Maxwell. Without thinking, Chinedu stormed up to them. He was really angry. Adugo, what are you doing here? What is going on here? He asked. His voice was sharper than he intended. Why are you spending so much time with this man? Adugo looked startled at first, but Maxwell stood up calmly, sensing the tension. Chinedu, there is no need for this, Maxwell said to him, trying to bring down his anger. We were just talking. But Chinedu wasn't listening. The jealousy was overwhelming him. Talking? You are always talking to her, Abi. So you don't know your place. Chinedu turned to Adugo. He was really frustrated. You are my wife. Why are you getting so close to this man? Maxwell stepped in between them. Chinedu, you need to calm down. There is nothing going on here. Adugo, your wife, is just my friend and nothing more. This statement made Chinedu's anger to flare up more. Without warning, Chinedu shoved Maxwell. He kicked him, knocking him off balance. Stay away from my wife, he shouted. He was filled with rage. Maxwell stumbled back, but didn't react with violence. Instead, he took a deep breath, looked at Chinedu, and said to him, this isn't the way to handle things. You need to talk to Adugo, not take out your anger on me. You never saw us doing something wrong. Chinedu was so angry, but as he looked at Maxwell, the way and manner he calmly told him to talk to his wife instead of taking his anger out on him, he realized how foolish he was acting. But the jealousy still burned inside him, and he wasn't ready to back down. After that confrontation, Adugo was shocked by the fight. She had never seen Chinedu so angry before. She knew He had been jealous, but she didn't expect him to confront Maxwell like that. Chinedu was usually calm and calculative, but today he had lost control. Chinedu, why did you do that? Adugo asked him. Maxwell has only been kind to me. There is nothing between us. Chinedu was pacing the floor, his hands clenched into his fist. I don't trust him, Adugo. I don't know what you even see in him. Eh? It is clear that he's getting closer to you. Can't you see it? I only asked you to dress modern. You refused. Now, you are dressing so fine, even making up just because of that man. For what? Adugo wanted to laugh, but she was able to hold herself. Though, she had never intended to make Chinedu feel that way. He had only been talking to Maxwell because he had been kind when she was feeling down. But Chinedu being so angry, wow, Adugo was shocked. She apologized to Chinedu and told him that she didn't mean to upset him in any manner. Maxwell is just a friend, and he's the only one who have been there when I felt like I'm losing myself trying to please you, Chinedu. Please me? Why are you pleasing me for? Are you not the one that said I should change my sense of dress? You are dressing like someone that is going to the farm always. You are not in the village. Look at the modern woman. You even took me to a wedding where I embarrassed myself. Eh? Maxwell is the reason why I'm looking this beautiful. And you are jealous. Anyways, Chinedu, if I made you feel otherwise, I am sorry. Chinedu's eyes rolled. See, I don't want to ever see you close to that guy. I hope you understand me. Adugo nodded. She didn't want to upset Chinedu, but she couldn't ignore how much Maxwell had helped her. Chinedu couldn't bear the thought of losing Adugo. Seeing how close she is to Maxwell made him feel a sense of fear he had never experienced before. He realized that his stupid act was pushing his wife away. If he didn't do something, another man will take away Adugo from him. He needed to show her how much he cared, how much she meant to him. He had to prove that he could be the husband she deserved. After thinking for a while, Chinedu came up with a plan. He decided to surprise Adugo with a special birthday celebration. He knew how much she loved birthdays, and he wanted to do something special to remind her that he still cared. He planned everything carefully, from the decorations to the food, and even arranged for a few of his close friends to join them. It was his own way of showing Adugo that he was serious about making things right between them. The D-Day came. The evening of Adugo's birthday arrived. Chinedu came back home excited to surprise his wife. He had worked so hard to plan everything, and he couldn't wait to see the smile on her face. However, as he walked into their apartment, his eyes immediately fell on Maxwell, who was standing in front of Adugo with a bag full of gifts. Chinedu's smile faded and his heart tightened. Oh, he was so jealous. What is this? Chinedu shouted. Why are you here again? Did they send you? Ah, you said your name is Maxwell. Abeg, did I not tell you to stay away from my wife? Chinedu was so angry. He took a step further. He was ready to fight. But Maxwell remained calm and composed, not allowing Chinedu's anger to get best of him. Chinedu listened. This is not the way to handle things. You can't keep fighting me. You need to open your eyes. You are neglecting your wife, and she deserves better. She deserves love, respect, attention, not constant criticism and jealousy. See, guy, if you truly care about this woman here, you got to communicate with her, support her, and stop trying to control everything. Chinedu's anger began to subside as he listened to Maxwell's words. He had never really thought about it that way before. You are right, Chinedu admitted. I've been blind to how much Adugo needs me. I was focused on my own pride and jealousy, but I haven't seen how much I've hurt her. Maxwell smiled. It's not too late to fix things, bro, but you need to take action. Start by doing something special for her, and most importantly, show her that you value her for who she is, not who you want her to be. Chinedu nodded, feeling ashamed of his behavior. He turned to Adugo, who had been standing silently, watching the exchange between the two men. Chinedu sat down with her. He knew he had to make things right. Adugo, I am so sorry for everything. I've been a terrible husband. I've hurt you with my jealousy, and I've made you feel like you weren't enough. But I realize it now that I've been so wrong. I love you and I want that to change. I want to be the husband you deserve. Adugo looked at him. Chinedu, it has been so hard. I've tried so much to make you happy, but it never felt like I could do enough. I just wanted you to love me for who I am. Chinedu took her hand in his. I promise I will do better. I will communicate with you more. I will be more patient and understanding. You don't have to change for me. I want to love you, Adugo, just the way you are. Adugo smiled. She was relieved. Thank you, Chinedu. I just want us to be happy. They hugged and kissed. Before Maxwell left, he handed Chinedu an envelope. Chinedu, I am getting married soon. I wanted to invite you to the wedding. I think you've learned a lot through this, and I hope you and Adugo can find the happiness you deserve. Chinedu took the invitation. He was so grateful for Maxwell's advice, but at the same time, he was ashamed on how he had treated both Maxwell and Adugo. Thank you, Maxwell. I realize now that everything isn't about pride or fighting. It's about love and understanding and communication. They are very important in marriage. The journey wasn't easy, but Chinedu and Adugo had learned valuable lessons along the way. Chinedu learned that love isn't about controlling someone or trying to make them into who you want them to be. It's about appreciating them for who they are and supporting them through the challenges life brings. Adugo also learned that she didn't need to change herself to please anyone. She was beautiful and worthy just the way she was. The couple worked hard to rebuild their relationship, focused on open communication, patience and love. They didn't expect everything to be perfect, but they knew they were stronger together. As for Maxwell, he got married, and Chinedu and Adugo attended the wedding, grateful for the lessons Maxwell had taught him. To my beautiful couples out there, communication is very important in your marriage. Always talk to your partner, listen to them, and make sure they feel that you've heard them. Jealousy destroys relationship. Trust and understanding are more important than jealousy and control. Please appreciate your partner. Love your partner for who they are, not for who you want them to be. Support each other. A strong relationship is built on mutual support, respect, and encouragement. And note that change takes time. Don't expect instant results, but keep on working, improving yourself and your relationship. Thank you so much for staying tuned with me to the end of the story, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, please give it a big thumbs up. Kindly share with your friends and your family. I will really appreciate that. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please click that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your notification so that you'll be notified when I post my next story. You can also support Mona by buying her a coffee. The link is on the description of this story and on the bio. Thank you so much. See you on the next story. Goodbye and God bless you.